Hey everybody, I'm Logan Alec. I'm a CPA. I own Choice Tax Relief. We help folks who owe the IRS or their state at least $10,000 in back taxes or who have multiple years of unfiled tax returns. And today I'm talking about IRS Notice CP40. IRS Notice CP40. I'm going to talk about what this notice is, why you received this notice, and what you should do if you got this notice. Okay? So, what is this notice? This notice is a notification to you that the IRS has assigned your overdue tax account to a private collection agency. Okay? Why did they send this to you? Why did you receive it? Why did they assign your account to a private collection agency? Well, it's probably because the law said they had to. About 10 years ago, as part of the FAST Act, I think that's Fixing America's Surface Transportation Act, Congress said, look, IRS, okay, if you have inactive tax receivables, then you have to enter into one or more qualified tax collection contracts for the collection of all outstanding inactive tax receivables. These are basically, if you have an inactive tax receivables, you have to send them out to a private collection agency. Okay, what is an inactive tax receivable? Well, it means if at any time after the tax was assessed, the IRS removes such receivable from the active inventory for lack of resources or inability to locate the taxpayer. So that's one way. This is the most common way. Basically, the IRS says, look, we don't have the resources internally to work this case and to collect this tax from this guy or gal internally. Therefore, we're going to outsource it. Okay. Or more than 2 years have passed since the assessment, and such receivable has not been assigned for collection to any employee of the IRS. Basically, it's an unassigned account. Or in the case of a receivable which has been assigned for collection, more than 365 days have passed without interaction with the taxpayer or a third party for purposes of furthering the collection of such receivable. Okay, so it's basically if your account with the IRS fits into one of these three, at least one of these three buckets, okay, then IRS will assign your account to one of the three private collection agencies it works with. Okay, and for this particular client, they were assigned to CBE Group. Okay, there's two other ones. There's Coast Professional, and there's Conserve. Okay, and this might change in the next few years. They might drop one and bring on another one, right? But right now it's the three C's: CBE Group, Coast Professional, and Conserve. Okay, the law requires us to contract with qualified private collection agencies to assist in collecting certain overdue federal taxes. We assign your account to the following agency, and they give the the contact information there for the particular agency that this particular taxpayer was assigned to. Now, further down, there's this "what you can do" section, but let me tell you, there's more you can do than just what is described by the IRS in these two boxes. And I'll talk about that, but for now, let's just talk about what the IRS is saying you can do. Okay. Option one is work with the assigned private collection agency, in this case, CBE Group, to resolve your overdue account. Okay. Now, you need to know something about these private collection agencies. They're kind of all bark and no bite. Okay. They can call you. They can't harass you. Right, but they can call you. They can try to get you into payment programs, right? They'd prefer one for up to maybe 5 years. They can maybe go up to 7 years with IRS approval. Okay, they got an IRS technical specialist on there to approve any agreements that they make to pay over time that go up to that 7 years. So you can work with them, right, to set up an installment agreement. By the way, the payments are going to go to the IRS. Okay, they're not going to the private collection agency. Okay, so you could work with the private collection agency to set something up, or the IRS says you can pay your balance now. Right? I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you don't just have all the money you owe the IRS sitting there in the bank account, ready to go to irs.gov/payments to pay. Okay. Now, IRS is kind of presenting this as you only have these two options. I'm going to tell you right now you have more options, and I'm going to tell you what they are later on in this video when I talk about what you should do if you receive this notice. All right, then there's this boilerplate section where you can find more information. There's a bunch of links to IRS web pages about the private debt collection process, blah, blah, blah. Taxpayer rights and sources for assistance. You can look at the Taxpayer Bill of Rights right here at this link. Taxpayer Advocate Service and Low-Income Tax Clinics. Taxpayer Advocate Service has been backlogged, for a while now. Sometimes we would use them if, someone at ACS was, if we made an installment agreement request, for example, and ACS didn't seem to move it along, right? It was in manager review forever. We'd tap TAS and say, hey, can you figure out what's going on over here? Right. For the past year or so, we haven't even bothered. They take so long to get assigned. Then you get the letter that says, hey, your case advocate is going to reach out to you in like 6 weeks or 8 weeks. It just takes way too long. Way too backlog. Your mileage may vary. Maybe you have great luck with TAS. By the way, if you reach out to your congressperson, to help you out with your tax situation, all they're going to do is file a TAS request. That's all they're going to do. Also, low-income taxpayer clinics. These are hit or miss. All right, now let's talk about what you should do if you received IRS Notice CP40. I mean, sure, you could pay your balance off in full. You could work at the private collection agency if you want. But let me kind of give you some insider information here. You may want to do nothing. I kid you not. Okay? These private collection agencies, they're all bark, no bite. They can't levy you. Okay? They can't garnish they can't levy your bank account. They can't garnish your wages. All they can do is urge you to pay, though they have to respect your rights as a taxpayer. They have to be courteous. They cannot harass you in encouraging you to pay. On top of that, the IRS's collection statute still runs while your debt is with a private collection agency. Okay? So it may make sense for you to just sit tight and do nothing. That said, here's the risk you run if you do that, if you don't deal with it. The IRS can take your debt back from the private collection agency in the future. And if you haven't dealt with your debt, then the IRS can start going after you again. And the IRS has way more teeth, way more of a bite than the private collection agencies have. Okay? So if you think that you can qualify for some hardship-based resolution offer and compromise a PPIA or something like this right now, it may be in your best interest to request that the private collection agency send your account back to the IRS for you to work your case there back with the IRS. In which case you would just call them and ask that they do so. And then once your account's back with the IRS, you work it, you deal with it just like you would if you had not received the IRS Notice CP40. Okay? You make sure the IRS has all the right information on your account, that don't say you owe more than you actually owe, that you go for any penalty abatement that you may qualify for. And then for whatever's left, you deal with it. Either you pay it off, right? Or you get into a resolution with the IRS for this tax debt. Same things I talk about day in and day out on this channel. Offer and compromise program. Agreement with the IRS to sell your tax debt for less than you owe. Currently non-collectible, aka hardship status. That is a temporary placement in which the IRS may put you, during which you're not obligated to make payments to the IRS, and the IRS cannot go after you with levy action. Installment agreement. This can be a full pay to pay off everything you owe to the IRS, but they give you a period of time to do it in, or a partial payment installment agreement where you're making monthly payments to the IRS, but these payments are not going to pay off your tax debt in full because your tax debt is going to drop off in the middle of that payment plan due to the IRS collection statute of limitations expiring. Okay, same old things, right? Same old things. Really, when you get the CP40, got to decide, should I just not do anything? Just let it sit with the private collection agency? They can't hurt me anyway. Or do I want to kick it back to the IRS and work the case there? Those are really your two options in this scenario. If you are in this situation, if you received a CP40, if your tax account has been assigned to a private collection agency, and you owe at least $10,000, you qualify for a free consultation with Choice Tax Relief. Give us a call, 866-8000-TAX. That's 866-8000-829. Or go to our homepage or website, choicetaxrelief.com. Fill out the form on the website, and we will reach out to you. I also have some other videos about the tax relief programs here on the left-hand side of the screen. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.